Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulo Hoyane. Malisela Teffo was always right. You'll recall that courtroom arrest of Malisela Teffo. After Malisela Teffo ended up withdrawing from the trial, Malisela Teffo mentioned people right at the top. Among one of the people that he mentioned was the former Minister of Police, Beki Cele. Malisela Teffo emphasized or was always of the view that this trial is a fabrication. This trial is merely intended to falsely implicate the accused persons in the murder of Senzo MEYIWA. At that time, it looked like a preposterous, unbelievable allegation. But I believe, I repeat again, Malisela Teffo was right. Now we are just seeing how the evidence of Absalom Zungu has been fabricated. Absalom Zungu has gone viral on social media after he appeared in that video in which he discloses in no uncertain terms that Brigadier Gininda was involved in his coercion to make a false affidavit at the Newcastle police station. A lot of things have happened in the MEYIWA trial, but the most important thing that we'll always remember this trial for is the fabrication around it. Malisela Teffo challenged, among other things, you'll recall, during that high drama arrest, he mentioned a lot of things. But the most important thing he said was that even those confessions that the accused are allegedly supposed to have made were just made under torture, that the accused were abused and tortured by the police into making those confessions. And we have seen how, as the trial unfolded, the accused have vehemently denied that they ever made any confessions. Muzi Sibia has denied that he has ever made any confession before anybody. Bongani Ntanzi, in similar fashion, has clearly denied that he has made any confession before anybody. And now we are seeing what people these days in this trial refer to as cooking. That the evidence in this trial is simply fabricated. It is cooked in order to implicate falsely the accused persons before the Pretoria High Court. Need we say more? Need we say more? This calls for an investigation. An investigation is called for here. We need to investigate the role that Brigadier Gininda has played in this trial. Gininda has pronounced himself as the lead investigator in this matter. And he must know everything. He must know everyone who is involved. We also know of the involvement, to a certain extent, of General Sibia. These people must be investigated as a matter of agency in order for us to determine exactly the extent of the interference in the investigation of this trial, such that we have two dockets. You will recall also that it was Malesela Teffo who brought to our attention the existence of two dockets, two parallel dockets. 375, which says there were no intruders into that house, and 636, which says there were intruders into that house. This matter has to be investigated urgently. We also have it on record from investigators who were involved in this trial that from the investigations that they undertook, there had been no intruders into that house, and that this intruder theory was just a cover-up to protect the people in the house, so that the people in the house are protected. And how fortunate they found themselves, those people in the house, because they knew all along that nobody would ever touch them, because they had behind them the investigators who just simply did not do anything or bother to do anything about them, and who then focused on non-existent intruders who were supposed to have run in the direction of the park. So the message that I'm bringing to you this morning is this case is an entire fabrication. We have heard what General Mkonas is saying about corruption in the police force. He even alludes to corruption in the judiciary, although he does not name specifically anybody in the judiciary who is allegedly involved in crime. So an urgent investigation is called for here, because this trial is nothing but a fabrication that is intended, or that was intended, to protect the people in the house who ought to have been treated as suspects and who today are still roaming the streets of South Africa as free men and women. Thank you.